Welcome to lesson 4, creating compliant ads. So throughout this lesson, I've been talking to you about making your ads compliant. So you could avoid ad rejections. You could also avoid getting banned, getting your ad accounts disabled. And if any of those things happened, you would have the confidence to appeal and know that you're going to get a favorable decision. All right, so that's the likely case. So I've talked a lot about using these techniques to advertise in any industry. Now, I am going to make a big disclaimer before I go on here. I'm not teaching you this so you could use it for anything illegal. I'm only showing you how to create ads that get compliant on Facebook. This is for educational purposes only. Whatever products or services you're promoting, make sure that it's done in compliance with the law as applicable in your country or wherever you are showing your ads. I would not be held liable, or my companies will not be held liable for whatever you do using this information. Okay, that's not to scare you. I'm just doing what my lawyers think I should do, right? So let's get into it. Now I'm going to cover some key points here. All right. Now the first thing you need to know about creating compliant ads is that you should use happiness triggers in your ads. Use happiness triggers in your ads. So happiness triggers like blue skies, a happy person, someone smiling, someone happy. And most of the time you can easily do this because you can use bright colors, things that make people happy. When you're showing your ads, one of the best ways to display your ad creative or your video is to show the after state, how the person feels after using your product, or service. So if you're going to use photos of people, images of people, then those should be really happy people. Those should be, it should be a bright setting. And the thing is, when you use happiness triggers in your ads, or happiness triggers in your ad copy, it could be in your creative, your headline, Facebook rewards you. They show your ads to more people because Facebook is a social place and they expect people to be happy, and they love ads that make people happy. And Facebook loves your ads because it's making people happy. You're going to favor you with cheaper ad costs. That's the way the algorithm works. You might say, how would they know? Don't worry. That's the job of the algorithm. You can ask a software engineer. I'm not the one who is qualified to answer your question. Next is you sparingly use the word you or your in your ads. Now, I would explain something. These key points, I have drawn them out of the policies. They are still consistent with the policies. They are not new policies. These are inferred compliant keys, right? Compliance keys, rather. So, I have brought these points out because if you follow them, you're likely going to be in compliance with all the policies we've been reading a long time ago, right? In the previous lesson. These keys will help you create the right kind of ads. They're just like guidelines, right? So avoid using you or your, because most of the time when you use you or your, you're calling out people. So as much as possible, limit your use of you and your in your ads. Then stay away from certain time frames for results. Stay away. You can run successful ads without stating time frames. You can run successful ads without stating time frames because it's not going to be consistent for all users. So you want to avoid that. Next, don't use sensational content or words. Don't use sensational content. I've talked about this. Accident scenes, things to scare people, make people freak out. Don't use it. Stay away from them. Don't use sensational words. Don't scare people in your ads. Of course, you can. The fear is powerful, right? In marketing, I'm a marketer, so I understand the fear is powerful when it gets to getting conversions. But there are subtle ways to introduce fear without using sensational words, right? Don't say, "Oh, you might get an accident." If it may be true, but don't do that. Okay. Another key is delete disapproved ads from your ads manager. All right, especially when it has not given you any results, just delete it. You don't have too many of those remaining in your ads manager. Avoid using before and after images. Avoid using before and after images. Don't show a beach body and someone celebrating afterwards with a beach body, and then you put someone really fat by the side, and like, even if it's the same person, Facebook doesn't like before and after images because it sets pressure on users. They feel like, oh, this person did it in 3 weeks. I'm going to do it in 3 weeks, right? And I could get this body. It's real. And they try it doesn't work and leads to a bad experience overall. Also, some of these rules, Facebook is a bit more lenient with videos from my experience. So you want to try and use video when possible. Use video and include some of the things you don't think will get approved in the creative or in the text, and you could use some of those in a video. All right, but of course you can't use Facebook icons, Facebook logo, Facebook trademarks. They are going to notice it. The algorithm can actually watch the videos. The algorithm listens to what you say in the videos. The algorithm reads the CCs, the closed captions, and all that. So you want to stay away from that. Lastly, you want to use industry jargons. Use industry jargon. So, for instance, in my industry, marketing, we have things like funnels, right? We have things like creative. We have things like ads. We have things like copy. We have things like, so those kind of keywords I can use them. Now, a typical non-marketer won't likely know what a funnel is, won't likely know what an ad is, won't likely know. So those are not the people I'm speaking to. The people I'm speaking to understand what a funnel is. They understand what a creative is, right? So you want to use industry-related jargon, especially when you think it's not going to be approved. So for an industry like real estate, there are keywords, there are jargon, industry jargons for that industry. Every industry has its own, industry, terminologies. So if you are an automobile industry, you have things like OBD, right? So I'm just assuming it was a very strict niche, not like it is, but just to try and give you a sense of it. So for an automobile, you have automobile industry, you have OBD, you have scanner, whatever. I don't really know, but I'm just trying to show you that they are keywords. So what you do to get your keywords, think what word would I say that only someone in my niche would understand? It doesn't have to be a bad language or something, or bad grammar. It just has to be something, it's real, but only people in that niche would understand, right? So for instance, if you go to the web development industry, you hear things like hosting, you hear things like DNS, so those are things that people in an industry will understand. So look out for those words and use them when possible if your industry is strict, especially if you are promoting something like real estate. Now, this alone would not help you. You have to combine this with funnel, a compliant funnel, because after using this, you can see that a lot of the power words, a lot of the persuasion words that you're supposed to use, you're not allowed to use them in your ads. But if you can combine a compliant ad with a compliant funnel, it's very powerful. And I'm going to be showing you in the next lesson how to create compliant funnel. But first, I want to give you some templates, some ad templates that are not only tailored to give you very good results, they are also tailored to be compliant. If you just fit in your ads into these 3 different templates I'm going to give you, you're likely not going to have your ads even rejected at all, except maybe the problem is from your creative. Okay, so let's start with the first one. Okay, so this is the ad copy template 1. This one is not my idea, it's not my writing. This was created by a very smart marketer. His name is Andy Mokolo. Very smart copywriter. So I'm just going to show you how this works here. So it says, I don't know why, then the complaint, or I don't know how, then the complaint. I don't know what, then the complaint. I don't know where, then the complaint. What is the problem, right? Then you say, this ends today thanks to blank. That's your product, service, or unique method. Then you say, now I can say blank. Then you include the top benefit. Click the learn more button to get started. So let me show you how I applied it here in this ad. I don't know how to get serious real estate leads using Facebook ads. This ends today thanks to reverse realty advertising. You see, thanks to blank. The blank here is reverse realty advertising. I don't know how to get serious real estate leads using Facebook ads. That's the blank for the first one. This ends today thanks to reverse realty advertising. Now you can say, I could have used now I can say, but I'm not the one saying so. Now you can say, I don't look for super rich prospects. They reach out to me to buy my properties. You see how that works? Then you can say, click the link below to read about it, right? Or get some whatever. But I decided to do something smart here by saying they reach out to me and buy my properties without chasing down prospects, getting lots of rejection, doing complicated technical stuff, spending a ton of money on ads. The best part is that this method works even if you're new. Click the link below. So you see how smart I just, modified this and use that, because you want to also, sometimes it's powerful to tell them without, without what they don't want. They don't want to chase down prospects. They don't want to get lots of rejection calls like, hello, my name is James. We met the other day and you were interested in buying one of our properties, and the client just goes, oh, all right, James, thank you for calling. We'll talk later. I don't think I'm interested at the moment. I'll get back to you. They don't want to hear a lot of that, and they don't want to do a lot of technical stuff. They may not know how to do websites. They may not know how to do a lot of, this techie stuff, and they don't need to do that. And they also don't want to spend a lot of money on ads, right? That's a secret. So that is how to use the first ad copy template. So let me take you to the second and the third one, and I'll show you those ones I did myself. Right? Okay, so let's go to the second one. So ad copy template 2, right? So this one says, the reason most blank, you call out a group, right? Struggle with blank, right? You call out their problem, is because they don't understand blank, which is your product, your service, or your method. Then you say your product, your service, or your method, which is the blank there, is one of the easiest ways for blank, which is the group, the same group of people, to get blank big benefit without blank group pain points. So let me apply this to the real estate example we used previously. So I could say the reason most realtors struggle with getting high quality leads is because they don't know, or is because they don't use reverse realty advertising. Reverse realty advertising is one of the easiest ways for realtors to get super rich prospects without chasing down prospects, getting a lot of rejections, doing complicated technical stuff, spending a ton of money on ads. The best part is that this method works even if you're new. Click the link below to read about it. I totally forgot to add click the link below here. It's supposed to be somewhere here. All right, so don't make that mistake as well. All right, so let me take you to the third ad template. So I guess you can see how lovely this is. All right, so the third ad template is just here. Okay, so this one says, it pains me each time I blank. Problem. I'm glad I found blank. You name your product, your service, or your method. Now I blank. Big solution. So I gave an example for you. And tell me if this won't catch you if you were on the Facebook. And probably this was even the ad I used and you saw, maybe with a few tweaks, right? Now it says, it pains me each time my Facebook ads get rejected and banned. I'm glad I found Godson's ad policy compliance checklist. Now I manage my Facebook ads without ever having to worry about waking up to see my ad account disabled. You see how that's worked? That's simple. So you don't have to go cracking your head. Oh, how do I come up with a powerful ad copy? Use any of these three, modify them as you please, and use it and get the best results from your ads. Make sure you match it. You use a matching creative that if it's a video or a picture, it has to resonate with what is in the ad copy. And once you do that, your ads are going to be approved. These templates can work for any niche, any industry. You just have to apply them and make sure you apply them with the sense of the things I told you to avoid. So you don't go and say it pains me each time I miss my shot, or I'm not able to scam someone. That's going to get rejected. So that's why I went through the pain of showing you the policies first before just delivering the template. If I just drop the template for you, you're likely going to still get rejected. So, but with that sense of the policy, you now apply these templates with that and you get the most results. So like I said earlier in this lesson, this alone is not going to guarantee you the best results. You have to combine it using a compliant funnel, a funnel that helps you maintain compliance but retain the power of your advertising. And that's what we're going to be looking at in the lesson. So I thank you for sticking till the end of this lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson right now.